Hello and welcome back here. We are done with the first match of the day, an absolute classic on the field. FBI Tugboat here with Novanta, as we're getting to sit down with the winning player of our previous matchup here, Novanta.
Now, I got, we were talking about this before we went live. I got questions upon questions. What we saw was a classic from end to end. The guy came out, shut out, and did the dang thing. I'm hyped.
Absolutely, absolutely. Game one was a bit more of a one-sided affair. Second game, you had to end it, but we are here and we are live with Jordooo. Jordooo, how are you feeling on the day?
I'm feeling ecstatic, man.
I love it. I love it. Now, what wanted to ask a little bit about this previous game. Navanta's got a similar question about last weekend to now. I wanted to ask you what happened between game one and game two. What changed between these two games that led to a much closer scoreline?
I know in game one, I had a lot of forced turnovers, right? So I knew that wouldn't be like a current thing between games. So I knew I had to keep my foot on the pedal the first game and then come back the second game and do what I do. So all them interceptions and fumbles that I got the first game, I knew it wouldn't come the second game. But I knew I could do what I need to do to win the game.
Love that. Love that. Navanta?
Last week we were a little bit confused with this series starting today. We thought you were the Chiefs because last week you played as the Chiefs. And so the idea to switch back to the Bills, walk us through that process.
Originally, my main team is the Bills, and the whole week before the final eight from last weekend, I was practicing with the Chiefs because I wanted to give a different look because I felt like I was playing against an opponent that could do some scouting on me, so I wanted to switch it up. But honestly, I went back to what I knew. No different game plans, no nothing, just straight kill, if that makes sense.
I mean, that does make sense. That first game was absolutely lopsided, but definitely going to Arrowhead in game two felt like a different vibe. We talked about the differences and changes there, but we were trying to debate the amount of that feeling of playing at Arrowhead. Does it really impact the game that much, or it was just a slow start for you as you roll into game two?
No, it really does play a big part in the game because playing at Arrowhead, you can't really do any audibles or formations. Like you have to do it 2 or 3 times, and it slows me down. And as y'all can tell, I'm a very fast-paced player. So when I gotta do an audible 2, 3 times, it slow me down, make me think a little bit more.
Yeah, we saw the situation that happened multiple times in the field, and the quick audibles back and forth because obviously at home field advantage, you can kind of see some of what players are going to and stuff. Obviously, a little bit more complicated than just I simply put it. Wanted to ask. You mentioned some other players maybe doing some scouting on you, Jordooo. Are there any other players within this competition specific that you'd be really looking forward to playing against?
I saw on my side of the bracket, I didn't see any names that I recognized, but on the other side, I saw uh, Noah up next, and I see Gabagool. So hopefully we get to the top eight and see them next weekend. That'll be fun. But I gotta focus on my next test. Should be coming up in about 15 minutes.
Absolutely. Avanta?
Man's gotta go. We gotta wrap this up because we have a lot more Madden action coming down. We got one more question for you. Is there anyone you want to shout out there? The AMU fam, friends, family. Now's the time, my friend.
I want to shout out the AMU Gaming Club, the AMU esports team. We on the rise. We coming up, and hopefully y'all hear more about us soon.
Performance like that, I'd call that a guarantee. Jordooo, thank you again for coming on in, giving us a slice of the mind inside the player's mind, right? Just right after the game, really very much appreciate you, and good luck on your future competitions.
Thank you all. Y'all have a blessed day.
You too, sir. You too. Fantastic stuff. Fantastic stuff. We've seen a lot of back and forth in that game too there, Novanta.
I gotta be honest with you. It takes a lot for someone to say, "Hey, look, this isn't working. I gotta make a change. Go back to what I know. Back to basics." Sometimes ego gets in. You say, "I'll make it work," but hey, look, if anyone has that kind of a level-headed attitude, they're gonna go far in any kind of tournament play.
Yeah, seriously, especially with what? So we were originally going off on like the one and done type game mode. We decided, hey, that's not it. Best of three is how this competition should be done. But at the end of the day, you lose a match that is still single elimination. No loser side of the bracket here on the day with our Rally Cry Madden series. Be looking at two more players taking the field in just a little bit. Be very, very exciting. See who these two are. I'm FBI Tugboat. I'm here, Commando Vanta. We'll be back with you in just a couple of minutes. Welcome back, Madden fans, to the Cry Collegiate Series. FBI Tugboat here with my man Novanto. We just had
Hey.
Jordooo on the horn here to kind of give us a look inside the mind of the player post game. Sat down with him, fantastic interview. Go back and watch it if you did miss it. We are continuing on with Jordooo on the broadcast, though, Novanto, are we not?
What? No, it's true. It's got work from production. We're going to see a double feature with Jordooo and this day taking on Jadenlbu in a matchup coming up momentarily. So it's kind of cool to see the inside of the player, then see how they put it to action as they move on here this afternoon.
Absolutely. Absolutely. A fan favorite, crowd favorite. You guys asked for him. Jordooo back on the broadcast here. So this is Jordooo once again out of Alabama A&M, which is, of course, agricultural and mechanical. I had to write it down, guys, not manufacturing. But going to be taking on Jaden LBU out of the Southern University system that is, of course, Louisiana. So we have another Southern matchup. Jordooo just making his way from North Georgia on into Louisiana. Keep on going. We'll see him in Houston or something like that all along the Gulf Coast later. I don't know.
And I love the fact we're shouting out these schools because they are so integral to our system. The esports programs are growing, and Rally Cry gets to be on the ground floor. I tell you, this is why this is so hype, my friend.
Yeah. Yeah, we got to do it again, right? Navanta and I simply came from a time when opportunities like this simply were not in existence yet. It is fantastic. It is awe-inspiring. It warms the heart and the soul to see these kinds of opportunities afforded to collegiate players. And this isn't just a lot of collegiate tournaments. You see a lot of them scholarship. That's not the case. Even if it was just scholarship, there's of course a little bit after that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So not only is the scholarships too, it's all about the community before and after as well. And the fact that we are being a part of it makes it that much greater. So yeah, everyone's all around. Shout out to everyone around for this one, especially the National Guard too, for putting their hat in the proverbial ring, being a contributor to this one, nationalguard.com. This is gonna be well, this is a fantastic tournament, but the winners have a possibility to go to the NFL draft. I mean, that just blows my mind.
Yeah, the way I'm reading this as well over there on the website, guys, you guys can follow along if you'd like to over there at rallycry.gg. The way I'm reading this as well is that the top two winners out of all four of these qualifiers, they're going to be fighting between $2,500 and $1,500, are going to be doing their championship, going to be having that live competition at the NFL draft. That is again what I'm reading from the top two advanced NFL draft for live championship. That's about as good as it gets, people. That's about as good as it gets. Not just the opportunity to put your skills on display within the great game of Madden 24 in front of the world, but to be able to do it with what is quantifiably the next class of NFL player going to be coming in playing on Sundays. Fantastic stuff. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff.
Yeah, just being next to greatness. I mean, rookies are being part of the whole draft process, and it's you making sure you take home the entire bag. Wow.
Love it. And there you go. We're finally going to see it. Finally going to see it. Our Baltimore squad has been snubbed on picks thus far. We've seen Philly, we've seen Kansas City, we've seen the Jets even on the very first day of broadcast. And of course, we've seen the Bills left, right, and center, Kansas City Chiefs everywhere, pretty much in every single matchup so far. This is going to be one without the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, well, that one, yes, praise be everything. But two, we're the Texans. But three, you're absolutely right. Like I just said about the Buffalo Bills about 2 seasons ago, they really had a stealthy playbook. The Ravens are also kind of on that bubble scene, quote unquote. You don't really see them a lot in competitions, but they can do heavy damage. I'm telling you, don't sleep on the Baltimore side.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. To continue the theme of what we've been talking about as well, as far as competitive NFL teams that translates to competitiveness within Madden 24, rushing quarterbacks. This is Lamar Jackson going to be not just throwing the rock, but carrying the rock as well here for Baltimore. Josh Allen showed the wheels that he's got attached to the bottom of his legs as well in the earlier one. So, got to say, a stifling Buffalo Bills defense. We heard Jordooo talk a little bit about what these individual players can do and how you don't just always have to opt for one single player on the defense there for the Buffalo Bills, and how those other players can go forth and really get you decisions where you are going to be coming out on top, even though if you're not necessarily controlling that star player.
Well, that's absolutely right there, Tugboat. And but the question I have moving into this series here is seeing Jordan early today, is that an advantage or disadvantage? Jaden LDU is probably taking notes, or should be taking notes that last series, and now they have to put it into practice. But at the same time, we saw it a very adaptable, a very dynamic Jordan being able to come what may and really change their attack. So I'm curious to see what happens in this best of three.
Come what may, and bring it on. That was the central theme of what Jordooo had there. I love the mentality that player had, with just kind of, yeah, NFL draft would be great. I'm playing the next game in front of me. Speaking of, that one's starting in just a little bit here. Gus Edwards, Lamar Jackson, going to be showing up here for the Baltimore Ravens. This is going to be the Ravens receiving the first. Obviously, the Bills taking it in the second. Tyler Bass has his hands up right here. Scared to move it. Simon didn't say so. Simon now says the kick is coming off.
Well, as knowing how much that Buffalo knows how to score, okay. Knowing how much Buffalo knows how to score, and they're receiving in the third, I got to make sure the Baltimore puts numbers on that board early.
Yeah, so this is definitely coaching decisions coming in here. Of course, something that's been recently added within the Madden series is the ability to pick not just offensive and defensive playbooks, but like from other teams, but also tune those as well to their respective NFL coaches within the game. It really does bring a new level of competition within the game, as well as like an unprecedented level of customization and
Don't
the
call me an
various.
old man yelling at a cloud, but talk about analysis by paralysis, man. Look, back in my day, you got the book of the team you chose and you made it work. Maybe I'm just kind of too old school these days, but no, I'm just kidding. Madden gives you a lot of ways to customize your team, and of course, it's super important as you go into tournament play because if you're able to outwit your opponent, the game is pretty much half done for you.
Yeah, this is a mental game back and forth all the way through. One of the most complicated sports. What's the quote talking about football? Like the most complicated sport, like played professionally in today's day and age. I don't remember.
Mm.
Okay, a unique look. What's the dodgeball quote? It's an interesting strategy. We'll see how that pans off for them. Starting this one out with an offsides for Buffalo Bills defense.
Yeah, the coach recall the first play of the game is something that was not on my bingo card, but more importantly, I didn't have a bingo card. I should have had one.
There you go. There you go. The mental factor coming in here, right? Like, I will literally start the first snap behind your line of scrimmage, sir. This is where I'm going to be living. It's where you'll see me again here soon. Mike Hyde, Dodds Lewis being controlled on the defense right now as Jackson's back into the shotgun right now. Audibles upon audibles. Jordooo talked about how multiple audibles is going to be really required here. That is going to be Mr. Mitchell right up the middle. One rush for 10 yards.
Yeah, the high step over to get a couple yards in the air. That's only a taste to come. I like this kind of dynamic play. 'Cause I didn't see it coming. I was so used to it being the end of the play, but that'd be the kind of thing you have to watch out as the game rolls on.
Yeah, established in the running game early right here with a man not named Lamar Jackson. To be putting Jaden in a pretty good position to start this one out. Surveying the field as of right now, picking plays. Another audible called as receivers spread off the left side of this field. That's a fat sack right across the middle as Micah Hyde gets involved and makes a statement.
Well, the way the ball was received, I thought it was going to be the most swaggiest play ever, but it ain't swaggy if you're getting sacked over it.
Oh, it is not. Oh, it is not. Wow, 8 yards all the way back here. This is something we talked plenty about earlier in Avanta and about the dropping back of quarterbacks. Now, if you can get the ball out, fantastic. If not, situations like that will abound.
Usually I would sit there and say you're absolutely right. It should be not do that. But the last game in the last series, we saw so many open plays come from that sort of play. So I can't knock anyone for trying that in the first quarter. But if you're going to lose 8 yards per attempt, probably not be something you do all too often.
Speaking of positive yardage, that's Keaton Mitchell. Another big run right here to make this first down a little bit more manageable. Now 3rd and 11. Let's take a look at this run again as Baltimore has not really thrown the rock thus far.
Yeah, I mean, it's so much a slow highlight. I do think there's going to be more inbound, but right here was definitely a smart play to do that, to draw out the defense and say almost a warning shot of what they could possibly do.
Mark Andrews, we see that as the star player factor here right off the left side of the line as Lamar Jackson calling for a little bit more. Only got one bailout player to the right. Keaton Mitchell. Yeah, Keaton Mitchell, sorry. Put on out to the right side. I got to say, pretty much everybody opting for the PlayStation as well. I'm not sure if we've seen an Xbox player yet, have we?
Well, I mean, allow me to poo-poo and boo-hoo that, but I love the way
Let's
the Duke fits in my hands. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna be honest with you, with the PlayStation controller, I think there's a whole generation of players that grew up with PS1, 2, 3, 4. It's almost like muscle memory. Once you get yourself acclimated, that smaller controller, it's hard to change.
100% agreed. 100% agreed. I think the tests that have been done on it and whatnot would share your opinion on that. As Keaton Mitchell, 3 rushes, 25 yards. We're looking at better than 8 yards per rush. This is a Jordooo Buffalo Bills defense that was able to shut down running plays, but that was against a different team, a different player entirely.
It does feel like there's two teams here that are just trying to like bust through the door on Black Friday, and no one's really found a way to get through it yet. And when that does happen, it might be an absolute hit parade.
100% agreed. 100% agreed. Floodgates looking to get opened up right now. Is that's just going to be moving the change? No. Excuse me. Keaton Mitchell does not get there. Is Von Miller going to be getting involved, the star defensive player for the Bills? First tackle on the day. This is a tough one. This is a tough one, right? Because you have run the ball 3 times in a row right now. Now with nobody back, this should just be, shotgun back to Lamar Jackson. I'm just putting him right up on the line. Now bringing in a whole lot of players providing aforesaid blocking and whatnot. If I was a gambling man, this is okay. Excuse me. Rashad
Oh,
Bateman gets out. That's still 4th and inches. Maybe I feel a little bit vindicated, Navanta.
no, you should be vindicated. That should have been a running play. Didn't work out for them, but it was one juke away for a first down. I hope they don't come to rue that play. But the last passing one didn't go far either. So who do you blame?
It's entirely fair. Entirely fair. Lamar Jackson's got the wheels. Get this one done. Pass or hand off. Excuse me. Mitchell going to be getting up to that one. We have 7 plays so far for the Baltimore Ravens attempted. 2 of them are passing plays, and I think I have a grand total of about 4 yards.
Well, that's a really darning stat, huh? But it's still early
Yeah.
yet. Hopefully, you can add on to that to make that a little less cringe as this rolls on.
I mean, I love the running plays, especially establishing this one early when you have a lot of time to play with before you hit that second half, and clock management really becomes a part of the conversation. Now, back yet again, full back position for Keaton Mitchell as this one's off to the right side. A race to the out of bounds zone, and that's still only a single yard. This is feast or famine so far for the rushing game on the Baltimore Ravens.
I understand the Ravens' idea of going out wide to make sure they trust the defense, but they have to make a decision to cut in at some point a little bit early, unless you will be just running to go out of bounds. You don't get much yards gains for that.
You really don't. Really don't. The question here is now, like, do we just play for first downs? Because even moderate passing plays really have not gotten a whole lot. And this is 2nd and 2. The writing would be on the wall, and it's Keaton Mitchell or Jackson earlier here. Perhaps just trying to save Jackson's running potential for the second half of this game. Can't say that's a bad idea. Again, we have not seen Gus Edwards take a snap thus far. Rolling back to the right, big pass, and that's Jordan Poyer coming up for the Buffalo Bills defense, now shirking his way to the sidelines, gets past one big man flying in front of him. That's the stuff that most defensive players' nightmares are made out of, but it's inside, easy tackle, and a fantastic turnover. We gotta watch that one again, Novanta.
Let's check this around. So we thought it's going to be the first one to open the floodgates will be Baltimore, but Buffalo and their defense tends to be absolute, tends to be resolute, and it's going the other way. And guess what? A return from the end zone. How about that? More of that, please.
Yes, sir. Especially if you're Jordan, who gets this one out to the 40-yard line from the end zone, from like the -3 or something like that, from the -2, something like that, folks. It is always appealing to try and go forth, get the guaranteed touchback. Not going to happen if your name is Jordooo. Setting this one up just outside of the halfway point of the field right here. A lot of slant plays, at least forecasted here for 1, 2, 3 receivers. Everybody is out right here, and Allen still going to be able to get the pass off. Knox right there. That's number 10, actually, kind of beaten feet farther down, going to block a player that did not exist.
Well, that was almost a 40-yard return, and what we're seeing here is that Baltimore has a nice attempt, a nice playbook, but everything is being read by Jordooo and Buffalo, and so now we're seeing the opposite way. Those passing plays need to be a lot more open when the ball's in Buffalo's hands.
Yeah, and what they're going to be doing here is going to set the pace for their offense so far. The statement's been made on defense. Now it's points on the board that Jordooo is going to have those sights set on 2. Audibles and audibles. Much more convoluted formation to the left side right here. Dawson Knox hanging out a little bit off the line up on it as Diggs, of course. Abe Davis showing the post route as of right now, and that should be the ideal situation if you can get this cornerback rubbed off, almost out to it. That's a fumble, and that's now going the other way. Defensive powerhouses showing their heads early in this matchup.
Yeah, it was easy to see that Allen was going to be under pressure, but try to go as wide as they can, but just outstressed, came down, hit the ground, the ball was knocked loose.
Fantastic stuff. Another shift of momentum here as Keaton gets the ball back in the defense for Baltimore now, or excuse me, for the Bills now, showing up, putting him down where he stands.
You could tell a little bit of this not going either way for either side, but everyone's still pretty much locked in the mental level because no one's given about an inch going either way.
An inch, a mile, none of that right now is being given up either way. Get totals for you guys offensively here, but it is not going to be very much on either side of this ball. Centered up across the middle. Keaton Mitchell fighting guard duties for a couple of seconds. A shot out. Rashad Bateman tries to get up to this one. It's battered away. 3rd and 13 for the Baltimore Ravens.
This was a soccer game. The commentator would say, "Peligro! You don't want to have a shot like that in traffic." That was the way this game was going. It was going to be hit the other way as well. You got to be able to have short, secure passes or long, secure passes, but never in traffic like that.
There has not been such a thing as a secure pass past the line of scrimmage thus far. Safest one so far was really just that slant play. Mark Andrews, though, the bailout man himself, big man tight end number 89, coming in for the Baltimore Ravens. Had to wonder when Andrews was going to get involved.
Not enough pressure there for Jackson. Look, pretty much had a whole step and a half to make a decision, but that decision they made was the right one. First down.
Yeah, a step and a half for Lamar Jackson might as well be infinity. Might as well be way more than a Lamar Jackson player who can make these passes on the run, cross body, or just turn it upfield himself. Back to the gun here for number 8 in Jadenlbu in the offense.
It's interesting to see because the scoreline is still 0-0, but it almost feels like a pendulum going back and forth with the stronger team and what each team wants to accomplish. And this is the kind of like Ryu versus Ken match you really want to see in Madden, right? You really can't call it here with almost less than 4 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, yeah, color me surprised that there's been multiple first quarter scores in all of these 2 games on broadcast so far, and that is a theme that continued pretty much entirety of our previous weeks. Now we're looking at 3.5 minutes. This is middle of the field. This is not scoring position by any means, barring some big bomb to a player like Odell Beckham, and that's not going to happen when Milano comes inside to put your cookie on the ground.
Nothing more deflating for a quarterback of trusting your O-line a bit too much. A side step left or right with a Baltimore time. Didn't get it that time.
Yeah, I mean, just forcing your quarterback to get into that left or right position is a bad situation if your offensive line is putting him into right now. Touchback here, starting on the 20-yard line, will be Jordooo-led Buffalo Bills.
Well, again, still no score in this one, but we're seeing a little bit of, I won't say desperation, but a little bit more of a creative, more flamboyant attack and defense of both these teams, trying to see who's going to be one to outwit each other. The question I have is, you don't want to go too far and be overzealous to cause a goal concession.
Yeah, you want to be aggressive here, and you want to attempt plays that can get you first downs within the single play right here. But every time that's happened, oh, a fantastic shimmy shake right there as Gabe Davis gets up here. 2 for 2. The only other pass for Josh Allen here was the bomb, of course, a bomb that ended up resulting in nothing. Take a look at this play again, Avanta.
Yeah, it's one of those situations where you know it has to be done, and sometimes it doesn't go the way you want to. But even though you get the completed pass, you can tell there was definitely 20 more yards right in front of them before they were knocked down.
Well, that play was replaying here. We got James Cook to come up, get the first. Now we got a 2-minute warning on the 32. Fresh set of downs, 3 timeouts. If you're Jordooo, what do you do, Novanta?
Well, I would run it to the right personally, but this is the reason why I'm up in the booth and not playing the game.
Fair. Pocket opens up across the middle. Dawson Knox gets out there. That is a completed pass, so the chain's starting to move in the passing game a little bit. You're right. It looked like he had it against his thigh, especially given some of these other passes here. Looks like they've been dropped. Heck, there was even the one that was intercepted. Looked like it was a reception made. James Cook, yin. Shimmy shake run around up the middle. First down plus more.
Hey, James just gonna do what he does best. But that last play was in traffic times four. It was like four white shirts. You threw it to them anyway. Props to that. But you're absolutely right. You again coming down to taking risk and doing things that no one's expecting. We don't want to go too far. I think both teams are playing that dance right now.
Element of surprise, man. That element of surprise. This is thrown off of, on the run, across the body, nowhere near accurate enough. Might as well have just been a throwaway play to stop this clock right here and not use one of their timeouts. Audibles upon audibles. Post route here for 91, but that is James Cook again under pressure, and the throw is not on point. Stop clock though for the Buffalo Bills offense.
Yeah, it was unfortunate because I tried to double back just quite in time, but I guess the route was abandoned a bit too late. The ball goes sailing into no one in particular.
They're like right behind right there is a solid attempt to try and get back to it. Nothing doing as 3rd and 10 shows up here for Jordooo. Stacking this side onto the right with the tight end there, number 88, Dawson Knox. James Cook back. He's going to be trying to accept a pass right here, but it's a bigger passing play as Diggs gets this. Diggs gets to the end zone, and that's 6 on the board for the Buffalo Bills.
Touchdown. It wasn't the prettiest, but it definitely was effective. All points break the same, drawing first blood as the Buffalo Bills.
It's how we like to describe our commentary, guys. It's not pretty, but it's effective, and it gets the people going. Take a look at this one again.
I mean, I think I'm pretty attractive, but that's besides the point. But yes, what a pass in the corner there. Jukes won, and it was going to be a tight race to the corner. Hits it, lands it, gets both feet in.
And Justice Hill looks like they were considering this one. Turns 9 degrees, just a left face right there to keep these special teams gassed running down the field at him. But taking it from the 25, here is the Baltimore Ravens. Jadenlbu has their work cut out for them in 28 seconds remaining in this half.
And how Tugboat, the whole battle of who's going to score first is now lost. Jadenlbu now has to retaliate and do so in the way to say not only I'm in this game by number, but definitely by effort as well.
Oh, double coverage. Bateman almost comes down with it. Double coverage, triple coverage. I can't even count the number of blue jerseys around that ball, Navanta.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's almost like a swarm of bees on both sides. That's two teams that know what they're trying to do and what the other opponent is doing as well. So it's going to be even harder to get those passes off. And so when they do get off, you're like, wow.
Keaton Mitchell, star of the offense so far, continues to claim that title here for the Baltimore Ravens, as that's a run for 6 right up the middle to not only give a different look, but also get them much closer, but no timeouts. This is a Hail Mary situation at best.
Yeah, interesting take.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. I was going to say, if you're going to do one play, you might as well run it, right? But or at least need the knee. But hey, halftime is done. 7-0 Buffalo.
I'm a bit confused by this. You have 28 seconds, full conglomerate of timeouts right here. At least get this one up. Try and kick 3, because then you're coming back right now. Gonna be kicking the ball off as well. So scoring opportunities you had, null and void in the first half, and not going to be for the first minute or so, barring a turnover here for the second.
That's absolutely right there, Tugboat, but I really feel when you play these games, we always think we can get it on the long ball kind of way. The small ball, the mechanical ball, I get that, but I do think a lot of teams go, oh, look, it's only 1 touchdown. I got this. Next time I get the ball, it's going to be a wrap. So it really wasn't kind of a nudge to do that field goal there.
And I guess my mind is that, like, a single score at most is 8 points. No reason to go for 2 in this situation by any means until you're looking, last couple seconds. That's only like going for glory type situation. You take a field goal here, you come back in the second half, and you get a touchdown here after you force no points for this offense right now. That's going to be made so much harder there for Shakir. 5-7 for Josh Allen.
Yeah, that was a very clean pass up the middle. And you don't really see plays as much as that happening, especially from Buffalo. But, hey, that's going to work and be effective. I say add that to the arsenal now.
Adding to the arsenal will be James Cook and another solid catch and run up the field. 132 yards, 9 yards on the last, or 132 total for Josh Allen, 9 of them on the last right here. 5 receivers out. James Cook filling in with that role as well. Right out to Dawson Knox across the middle. The tight end getting involved yet again.
Yeah, usually I would criticize throwing with coverage right like that, but you know what? Everyone was kind of going to run the opposite direction. That was the best option, and thankfully there were sticky gloves out there.
3 and 79 for Knox. Add a couple onto that one. 81 for Knox. Knocking on the door of triple digits here with plenty of time left in this third and fourth quarter. Now, lining up back to the gun. James Cook sent out yet again, having the faith in the offensive line, and that's Stephon Diggs coming up big for the Buffalo Bills again.
Yeah, there was so many options in front of them, but the one on the run was definitely the most effective one. Had it a full stretch, would have brought him down. Didn't even do that, and now it's 2 touchdowns up for Buffalo.
2 scoring lead here for Buffalo. Both of them required to be a touchdown for the Baltimore Ravens led Jadenlbu squad. Now kickoff here, all the way back, riding on the wall. Justice Hill decides not to go for it. This one goes all the way back. Starting a drive right here, and Baltimore has simply got to get the receivers involved a little bit more. Speaking of getting involved, Lamar Jackson has not attempted a single rush yet.
Yeah, hasn't had a single rush. I do think that's a skill that thought we were going to see by now. But again, it's only 2 touchdowns, and it's way a lot of time for them to really come up and get something on the board. They don't have to rush anything. They don't have to go for 60-yard passes right now. To do that what they were doing best to get themselves back in the game.
Nice little pocket created right there as Keaton Mitchell continues to rush this ball right up the middle. 4.4 yards per average is 2nd and 5 shown up for the Ravens.
Well, that was a good one. A little bit of a 4-yard run or a 5-yard run. And again, going back to what works with you, don't lose concentration. The pressure still needs to be on. And all you got to do now is just score, baby.
Just score, baby. Just score. It's going to be a lot easier with Zay Flowers' first reception across the middle. This is 3rd and 2, but I could have sworn that was a lot closer, man.
Yeah, it was a lot closer, but I do think this series has been pretty conservative with the chains. So I can't. It was consistent. It's unfair but consistent.
There you go. Unfair but consistent. We can only ask for that. Moses was not an eligible receiver even as this ball hits in the back. Popped out here against Lamar Jackson. And it's decision time here for Jadenlbu.
Well, you're 4th and 2. I would say punt it, but again, you have a team like Jordooo and Buffalo, how they're willing to score and try things to keep scoring. It may not be something worth doing.
Here comes the attempt. Here comes the attempt. We might see a quick exit after this one. Barring this, that's a fat sack. Is Von Miller going to be getting this one? Half sack and a tackle here for the defensive powerhouse named Von Miller.
Well, I'm not a gambling man, but sometimes they come up snake eyes, right? You try to say, I'm going to go for it, and you get sacked back, and that's kind of the worst possible result given the situation.
100% agreed. 100% agreed. Gabe Davis on a running ball over the right side. Single rush, single yard here. Especially given that you can kick the ball pretty much easily right here from the 25-yard line. We are flirting with a time management situation here from Jordooo, and I think they just exchanged numbers.
Yeah, we all like to have the idea of the comeback kid, but it really does say much about a psychological advantage of being the team to score first. And that is the most preventable sack I've seen all series. A time immemorial. Wow. Had a chance to get that ball off. It didn't happen.
Seriously, again, I said it earlier, I'll say it again. Not enough time to write their memoirs in the back as Jadeveon Clowney, the University of South Carolina product, comes up to eat Josh Allen alive. Speaking of, that's Gabe Davis right here, getting a lot done across the middle part of this field.
Yeah, that guy was a Texan. Just putting it out there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Where do you go to college, though?
Don't do this to
me. There you go, Josh Allen. Nice juke over the left side, and Jordooo is not going to be satisfied with 3 points on the board here. 21-point game coming up in a second, barring an uncharacteristic miss from Tyler Bass.
Well, there you go. 21-0. I was saying earlier about the name of the game of scoring first. It totally does matter. So why not? And he went to South Carolina. I should have knew that. Oh, come on. Dang it, Google. Brain fails.
Yeah. I went to the University of South Carolina, guys. I know plenty of these guys as college, but I got to see the man work live and in person. If you Google the hit Michigan, University of South Carolina, it'll still come up with the decapitation of that Michigan running back whose name is escaping me right now.
What I'm saying is I just fell into a trap. I could just guess USC, and it would have been right.
That's fair. Duvernay, okay. Duvernay getting involved right here. Spreading the ball around is Jadenlbu. Barring turnovers, I think Jaden's been doing great on offense.
I mean, look, you can't say it was a full shift of work there because it was almost doing more than what needed to be done, overperforming. I just kind of wish a little bit more, I want a little bit more.
A tad bit more. And again, you cannot, you can't have the conversation without talking about turnovers and the sacks that have been allowed so far. The Buffalo Bills offense, I mean, we saw it on that one play, right? Guy had all day, get this ball out right here, opted for a short one, got nixed down earlier. Now Jackson pops back, 3 players, screenplay to Keaton Mitchell, but he's still in the backfield right now. Oh no,
Wow.
excuse me, that was 2nd and 17. That is going to be for positive yardage, but 3rd and long right here coming up.
Yeah, I was gonna write down my notes. Having 4 people on the blitz, what is a pretty much a bad idea. But you're down 2 and 17. You could take your sweet time to be a defensive person brings it down.
It's a good point. Mitchell taking the rock across, 8-yard reception for him. This was decision time earlier. It's not decision time anymore because this is an easy one. 3 receivers spread out to the left side. That's going to be a nice, quick fake play over there to Bateman. RPO utilized perfectly.
Yeah, it's a fake play. We kind of saw it coming there. 4th and 2, no time to punt the ball now. It's really time to do something of action and something quick.
Up and over, another
Oh.
pick. Micah Hyde has been getting it done so far and does it again in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, it's interesting how Buffalo is just so good at having bodies where it needs to be, almost like seeing the play, almost like Minority Report style, and that's another pick.
Minority Report. That movie always creeped me out as a kid, honestly,
As a kid?
a lot. As a child.
I mean, as an adult, it freaks me out too.
Oh, okay. I was like, how else can I describe this? No, 100%. I mean, dystopian futures always kind of get me like a little bit, like kind of wondering, negatively about the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Dystopian presents are pretty bad too, but as it stands, it's still 21 zip. Baltimore needs to do something fast, but I don't think it's their day. I'm not sure if we're in the FF zone there, Tugboat.
Oh, I died to mute after that one. That was a funny guy, Novansa. Don't let everybody ever tell you differently. Josh Allen 7 back. You're 100% right. Even with 3 timeouts on the board and a 2-minute warning coming in into a second, this is running on the board. Maybe not an FF type situation, but if Buffalo gets another first down, that's donezo.
Well, here's the thing. It's like there's everything that's good. I mean, there's nothing that Baltimore has done wrong necessarily. It's that it's succumbing to pressure. And so when you have that coming and you can't even get the plays you want off because you think you're going to give it up and you do anyway, I think it's kind of a mental break, if anything.
Oh man, Stephon Diggs, another half step forward, and this had been probably the longest bomb of this day so far, of this broadcast day. Definitely not, just given that, I mean, especially the second game between Jordooo and player earlier, that was Ferraro, excuse me, just was not very offensive minded game. In the second one, of course, there was all defense for Jordooo game 1 of that matchup. Jordooo on the precipice of taking his first game of this second matchup, though. That's gonna be another
Well,
first down. Yeah, this game's over.
interesting. It was kind of funny because the cutscene had Josh Allen running off field, but apparently 4th and 6 went for it. Another first down.
Madden's trying to tell him what to do, what the analytics say is the best play. If I never heard the word analytics on NFL broadcasts again, I'd be able to die happy.
Oh man, you know how many jobs are tied to that stuff though?
Oh, 100%. But it's just like that's I don't know. I think it's used very frequently to bail out unpopular decisions as
Oh
like,
yeah.
oh well, the analytics say XYZ, instead of saying, hey, maybe these NFL coaches know a little bit better than our armchair quarterbacks sitting on their, sitting at the house on Sundays. That's all I'm saying.
I'm with you, but I think if all AI or all analytics is basically like an AI version of Ask Madden, I'll be okay with it.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's what I
yeah.
want. I want a Chat GPT future that is just a representation of John Madden answering my questions, football related or not.
Right. Give her chocolate and flowers on Valentine's Day. Thanks, John.
Well, Tugboat, we're gonna have to analyze this year's Valentine's. Yeah, like that. That's exactly how it would come. Game 1 done and dusted. Jaden forces the shutout, Jaden forces the shutout here of their opponent.
Yep, looks that way. We see more of the same. Buffalo makes short work of LBU and the Ravens. And the question becomes, we saw this last week's about the changing of a team in between the series. Will we see that here? I doubt it. It'd be kind of fun that were to happen.
Teasing our messages from production here, Navanta. That's next level. We are getting confirmed that Jaden is switching on over to the Chiefs next game. We almost had it. We almost had a full series, no Chiefs. Well, Patrick Mahomes in the squad here. The Andy Reid led back-to-back world champions. They're fourth on Sunday, on this past Sunday, of course, coming in here to play against this squad.
Wow. Well, there you go. I can't believe that. We're going to have a team change in this series. I wonder how that works. Hey, Baltimore, you're great, but here's the bus. Head on home. We're going to Kansas City.
Yeah, you go back to the East Coast. We're taking this middle of the country Midwest squad and the Kansas City Chiefs. Navanta Flobo, we've been talking about this so much about how the Bills are like, to say their defense is just pick a litter or whatnot almost makes it sound like we're saying that their offense is no good. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying at all.
Sure.
Jordooo kind of gave us a little bit of insight into just how good this Buffalo Bills defense can be. Essentially, the Kansas City pick is telling us the opposite of that, is that the Kansas City offense is just so freaking good that it's never a bad play to take right here. Kansas City defense, obviously a little bit of a different story. So I think we're going to see a defensive powerhouse coming up against an offensive powerhouse, and how the other side of these two teams take the field will determine this game.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the key to defense for the Buffalo Bills is that they're so okay with going right down the middle. And what happens after plays and after time, it kind of forces the opponent to try to outsmart the Bills of going left or right. But when you do that, there's always a person in deep zone to cut off any kind of screen or any kind of mid-range passes. It is basically a very pronounced but beatable defensive structure. But if an opponent has not figured that out, if I'm Jordooo, I'm tripling down on that.
Yeah, dude. Jordan Poyer, Micah Hyde, a man named Von Miller. These are just having those three together almost seems like it should be. There should be an NFL rule coming down from commissioners like, nope, sorry, defense too goated. Must send those players back to some kind of pool that other teams can bid on. That's not what we see here. This is the Buffalo Bills defense that's going to come on. They're going to make plays, but they're going to die trying.
Oh, absolutely. We're only a minute away from that game too. Jordooo said he's going to run the board, and so far it looks like it's going to happen. Again, much like the last series he played with the Chiefs, it was a situation where you felt like there was going to be anyone's game, and then he figures out his opponent and it goes off to the races.
Yeah, and if we're talking about figuring out opponents and whatnot, yes, that was a 35-14 point game, game one of Jordooo and Ferraro. Yes, that is the same score differential in the most recent 21-0 point game. But if I'm making that decision, I'm taking 21-0 over 35-14 every single day, because that goose egg, that zero on the other side, that's a mental factor. That's basically like telling the other squad right here is like, hey guys, this is what I can do to shut you down completely across 4 quarters of play.
Yeah, there's so many options, especially you have a lot more opportunities to score in the structure of that. You can go a lot more fourth downs. You could try a lot more plays that most teams wouldn't even attempt. And the fact you do all that or have that at your ready and you still don't score, it's enough to make you go, oh my gosh, maybe I'm outclassed here. So I'm with you. I think it's almost, if not an actual victory, a moral victory to put some points on the board, even in defeat.
100%. 100%. They especially if this is Jaden that's able to come forth here and score first with a different offense here, Kansas City from the Baltimore Ravens, then we'll be looking at an entirely different series. If this is Jaden that comes through here and just performs the same, just shut down defense, you can pick whoever you want. You can pick any 2 teams. Doesn't matter. We're going to shut you down. Then the writing will be on the wall right here, and it'll really be Jaden's game to go forth and snatch from the jaws of defeat.
Oh yeah, absolutely. A game 3 in a best of 3 is enough of a victory as it is, just because of how much the hot streak Jordooo has been doing with the Bills, and so that would be kind of cool. But look, with all about the high ground when it comes to technical things, it's all Jordooo. They don't have to do too much. They don't have to do anything out of the ordinary. Their defensive plan has not been thwarted yet. Their offensive carries have been very good, even favorable if you're talking about their home efforts as well. They're on cruise control.
Yeah, well, you want another common NFL commentator term? Well, this
Tell
is
me.
a squad that's gone forth and put the thumb screws on. They have played up to the other level. The bend but not break defense. There's a huge one. The bend but not break defense, right? That is exactly how you can describe this Buffalo Bills defense. They gave up triple digits in yardage and total yardage between rushing and passing plays. No, they did not allow even one single point onto this board. Harrison Butker up the left side this time. Not even gonna be able to get there hardly as Hines, and no go from the 25-yard line will go.
Can we talk about the team change there from Jadenlbu? Not to be all doom and gloom, but you have the Baltimore Ravens team. The first half, maybe first quarter and a half, it looked like a pretty even affair. The Chiefs, while good, while they are the defending champions, two-time champions, is a team we've seen be dismantled plenty of times in this tournament alone. This may be a decision that may shoot themselves in the foot. And I mean that figuratively, of course.
Yeah. I mean, hey, we've even seen the Kansas City Chiefs beat the Kansas City Chiefs in these broadcasts so far.
Fair.
5 seconds left on this, and these players are going to be opting to pick different playbooks across these different teams. Honestly, not against it at all. This is a situation for Jaden. I don't see a reason why you'd switch off of the offensive playbook, off of Andy Reid's created offensive playbook for the Kansas City Chiefs. But there's a couple of different teams defensively wise that I might be opting for if you're Kansas City.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, I think the defense of Kansas City, which is not saying it's weak, is definitely porous in times and places. So by all means, if you have the opportunity to do so, then do that. But again, I don't think the changing of the team, that buff, is what they're looking for. I really think it was the Baltimore Ravens had a good chance. All they need was a bit more focus on offense.
We're going to see the same delay of game by the same team right here, just offense instead of defense like we did last time. Jordooo, again, with the mental factor, with the, hey, I'm still going to start this game from behind. Still, you're going to see what I can do on offense.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see what they do that. But again, first play delay of games. Yeah, I don't get it.
Yeah, that's twice in a, well, I guess it was encroachment first, play a game on the second here. Here, number 10, has been showing up as the bailout slot so far for this Josh Allen led Buffalo Bills offense. It's a bomb to Knox, and that is, if that's not a touchdown, it's a really damn close. Knox again!
Oh my
Nice juke right
goodness.
here, all the way inside for 6 on the very first play of this game number 2. Kansas City defense not looking good for the switch.
Technical and beautiful. Hopefully, we get to see that on replay. Check this out. We're gonna go for the extra point. Well, there was the catch, and definitely was a conservation of that boost that was very, very important to draw not one but two defenders going the opposite direction. You don't get too many opportunities like that to stop someone, and Kansas City didn't have a chance.
Yeah, man. Yeah, 80 yards is about what Dawson Knox finished game number 1 at. One offensive play into this, and that's where we're at. Mecole Hardman, that's some decent blocking over to the right side. Almost gets out to the 20, and a solid attempt regardless, especially after you're staring down the barrel of 7 on the scoreboard early.
Yeah, finally a run back. How about that? Give me some of that smash mouth football,
Love it.
y'all.
Love it. Decisions made. Behind the line of scrimmage here for the Kansas City offense. Brings us Pacheco into the fold here, and that's a little bit more than just into the fold. That's a 12-yard rush and run right up the middle, rumbling even across a couple of defensive players.
Can't even call that a side step. It was more like a trot. But hey, you know what? Get the yards, and you get the first down. That's what it's done. Paid for it though at the end.
Yeah, solid hit. Solid hit. It's one of those hits we just thankful happens in Madden, not in real life.
Mm-hmm.
Scrum across the middle. Pacheco hit by a couple of different guys right there. Buffalo Bills at home right now as well. Worth mentioning here. Pacheco. It's another 5 yards or so up the left side this time.
Checo's always been so good at finding holes and seams with different opponents, and this here is no different. Let's see if it's going to be part of a more robust offensive attack, or it's going to be one situation where he gets the ball all the time.
Rasheed Rice now getting involved. We've seen Kansas City. It's Ferraro, and I don't believe Rasheed Rice was a huge part of that game plan. Now, folks, we're early on in this game. If you're watching, go ahead and fill up that Twitch chat with your predictions and whatnot. Of course, this was Jordooo 21-0 in game number 1. So will we see Jadenlbu battling back here, push this series to a game number 3? Pacheco gets read like a book right up the middle, loss of a yard. And now, if you're a Jordooo, this should be writing on the wall. This should be punt plays. You do not want to give up this kind of field position to a Kansas City Chiefs squad led by Jaden.
You know what they're talking about? I don't see your prediction anywhere.
It's fair. It's fair. I'm going to say not a 21-0. I'm going to say this is going to be a much closer game. Jordooo's going to win by 3. I'm saying 24 21. And that's gonna. Can I change that? Now that Miko Hardman takes a bomb down the middle of the field. Patrick Mahomes 2 for 2 on 49.
Pat Mahomes showing why Pat Mahomes is elite there with a bomb. And it was not only that the shot, it was definitely the catch and being able to evade as well.
Pacheco looking great. That's another first down right up the middle. Gotta say, Pacheco has been figuring out these pockets right up the middle very, very well.
Yeah, absolutely. As much as we talk about the defense of the Bills, they haven't really found an answer for this. So then, wow, what a stop! Haven't found an answer for the Chiefs.
Yeah, you get 2 more of these, even with the blitz play being called from the defense. This is going to be Jaden very happy with 6. Stage has been set. You should know at least what's going to be faked in what is coming. Another handoff to Pacheco. This was nothing if not predictable. Big man pushes him aside, and we got a tie game barring a Butker miss.
Well, that's pretty cool to see there. We're talking about the not scoring early. Well, that is totally off the table now. Let's see what resolve Jaden has in game 2.
Some solid pressure on the right side there. Not going to be able to get up and block this kick, though, and it's going to be return here. Butker up, Butker down. Hines knees down. 25-yard line is where this offensive drive will start. Navanta disappointed with no kickoff return attempt.
Yeah, back in the days of yore, all those returns were returned, It's definitely a smart play. Sometimes I hate smart plays. Guess we move on.
Fair enough. And from an we want the lightning and the thunder. We want the flashy plays here, folks. We want to provide the entertainment for you. We want to scream about Madden even.
Hell yeah.
It's just kind of the antithesis of what the kickoff return is as of right now.
Oh my goodness me. Got trucked there. Wow. I don't think he saw it coming.
Wow, yeah. So first pass, fantastic, good as it gets. Second pass barely gets out of the hands and yields in a no loss of yardage situation for the Buffalo Bills and Jordooo. Different look coming up here, but perhaps having James Cook back come forth, try to provide some blocking duties, not have that 5th receiver might be the play of the game. Coverage handed off. This could be a bomb to circle right across the middle of the field, and it is. McDuffie can't get back there. Shakir has a lot of green past the 25 right now. Attempted the shake. It's only about to the 23 and does. Nicely done. That's big bombs only for Josh Allen so far.
I don't know. I was going to say they had a good 15-yard space to do some scrambling, but I guess the bomb worked out for them. Had it not, I was sitting here complaining from the booth.
Oh my goodness, hard cut indeed here for James Cook as he weaves his way to the end to create a beautiful tapestry in the form of 6 points.
Yeah, we got to watch that one again at some point because that right there is a masterclass of how do you evade defenders. But here's a point of a touchdown. Has to go in right there, Tugboat. But right there, the whole drive was amazing.
It's so easy to get tunnel vision on the end zone. Yeah, even if there is that wall of red standing in front of you, he basically paints a circle, a straight line from him to the left side post, takes it, barely deviates from that path along the way. That's exactly what the doctor ordered. 14-7 game here in the first quarter still, excuse me.
Oh, we got ourselves a return, another one. Oh, okay. I'll take it. I like it. Brave. It warms my heart.
I love it. Kansas City. Going to be starting this one on the 15. Still is. The difference is it's an offensive play attempt, right? Yes, it's special teams, but still a play attempt to get extra yardage. Playing from behind, never against it, especially given that Patrick Mahomes can find 10 extra yards in his pocket as he's checking on the way down to a touchdown.
Absolutely. Mahomes is, I guess I'm saying something that's pretty much common knowledge, but Mahomes is such a strong quarterback, you really can't pin him into a certain system. He can find a way to scramble, he can find a way to make a passing play or what have you. So that's kind of the advantage of picking the Chiefs. And right now, that's why I think one of the reasons why they're still in this one. 7, even though they're down by 7, they're still very much in this.
Oh, 100%. 100%. One score game, first quarter still. Anybody up here. Now, if you're just joining us, of course, Jordooo has won the first game of this best of 3. That was a 21-0 stomp, complete sweep. Game number 1, a game that was concluded all the way to 000 of the fourth quarter right there. No FFs coming right there, so we can be appreciative of that 1 second left, and that is not ideal situations for the Patrick Mahomes-led Kansas City Chiefs.
I get running it down. Maybe they got too slow on the snap finger there, but hey, delay a game was only 5. Could be a lot worse as they hit towards the other side of the goal
Yeah.
line.
I think this is a little bit of what Jordooo was talking about as far as the home field advantages and whatnot. Home field advantage can see like your preferred receiver as well, so you want to switch up a lot of audibles before this ball is snapped. Try and throw off your opponent here into the first quarter. Second quarter starting in a second.
Oh, they got out of there just a little bit because I thought that was going to be a safety situation, but going home is just too strong. Only one score separates these two teams. Again, we're seeing a lot more from Jadenlbu to keep themselves hanging out there, but those defensive miscues are something I want to take note of. I mean, granted, the score doesn't reflect that, but that could bite them as this rolls on.
That's a very good point. Jordooo would have loved to have that stop right here and be looking at third and forever. Even against a player like Patrick Mahomes, pressure up the middle, barely gets the ball out, 4th and 11. And it's a terrible situation to find yourselves in when you're going to be thanking your lucky stars just to get the ball out and avoid a sack.
Usually they have a second person behind them assisting with the rush, and that could have been picked up in the air. So count your lucky stars that was an interception or fumble, excuse me.
Keem Hines gets past one, tries to push it to the outside. A diving play, still stays on his feet with the assistance of a teammate and gets it out to about the 46 right there. How about that for a kickoff return, Novanta?
That is a very aggressive run. I think I would have given up after a couple of these jukes. I would be too concerned about giving the ball up via a fumble or being stripped. But as you know about trusting your team, right?
Another fake run to the right side. Gabe Davis gets it past one and up for the first down. The Jordooo-led Buffalo Bills are firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, let's take another look at that run there because you got to understand that it takes a lot to come out there and try to be so good with the juke button, but that was precise. After one run, there's another one. Almost broke 2 tackles with his quick fingers.
Yeah, Gabe Davis now getting involved in the running positions. Love to see that. Switching this one up because God knows all these players can really get it done in that running formation. Gabe Davis out, gets past one. The shoestring tackle there on the end as Josh Allen improves to what? 7 for 8, 193 yards, 2 touchdowns thrown.
Gotta fall for the same play twice and make it 3 times while we're at it.
That player was in position for it. Gabe Davis. No, they're just going to run the same play from the second down of the previous drive. That's going to be enough for a solid little advantage.
That right there is frustrating and being on the blunt end of that one when your opponent's doing the same 2 or 3 plays and you just haven't figured an answer out for them. Of course, they keep going, keep spamming that button, so you're kind of like, oh man, lighten up.
Other screen, this one to Gabe Davis. I mean, 2 yards on this one, 3rd and 3 coming in, so a fantastic position for Jordooo to be in.
It is. We've seen stranger things. It should be an easy walk-in for them. It's 2-minute warning here being called, and I would say so, given their pedigree today. But I don't know. Nothing's safe here in this current tournament.
I 100% agree right here. This is, yes, this is Jaden doing arguably better since the previous, but blown coverage, ball thrown out to the right side, plus a little bit of user interaction there. Get this one in, and we got a 14-point game. 2 minutes basically left. 3 timeouts left for Jaden here in this first half. What do you do?
Man was shuffling in the end zone like trying to get out the pews in church. I mean, no one had no room, but still found a way to get across the line. And we're seeing that 21 happen again this time around. That looks like Jordooo knows what's up.
Yeah. I mean, figured it out in game 1 and continuing to ploy his absolute dominance here in game number 2. Putting this one about as far back as it'll go. Right side. Michael Hardman decides better of it. Hits him in the foot, but unfortunately does not bounce back in. Jaden, all eyes on you, my friend.
If I saw that in a real game, like, what's up with that guy? It's just like, I'm gonna catch it. No, I'm gonna catch it. I'm gonna drop it. I'm gonna catch it. I'm dropping it. I'm gonna catch it.
It's just getting a little more cardio in. Everyone else is getting the heart rate, up, that respiration up. Just wants to join in this, friends. Wortson coming on in here. I believe that's the backup tight end. Yes, it is here. Kelsey now back into this game. Single tight end right side. Loading the left otherwise. Pacheco It's been working so far. Why do anything differently? 8 rushes, 35 yards, throw a touch in there for flavor.
Yeah, it was a good first down combination. That first play was like catch, then run. But hey, Pacheco cleaned it up, and now we got to move the chains, and what a
Ooh.
completed pass.
MVS, Marquez Valdez-Scantling coming on in here, getting a big one across the middle. Kansas City improving to 125 total yards, probably 80, 90 of those or so, of course, being those passing plays. Timeout comes, so Jaden has an extra little bit of time to figure this one out as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what you have to do, right? You're still in it. You're not shut out this time, but the game is slipping away inch by inch, drive by drive to Buffalo. So you got to be able to stay on the proverbial accelerator. Be a lot more aggressive and get more points on the board.
Yep. And I mean, when we talk about points on the board, I mean just that as well, Novanta. I mean, I'm going to suggest the Forsaken, right? The unmentionable, and that's kicking a
Oh,
field goal, taking 3 points when it's necessary, and
whoa,
making this one
whoa!
a little bit of, hey, I know, controversial take, folks. You see it in the NFL frequently for a reason. Checo down for a loss.
3 points. What is this, the NBA? Listen, all no glitz, no glory, man. All touchdowns, baby.
Gas, no brakes, like Devonta was saying earlier, it seems. Opened up, Rashee Rice getting drilled down hard on the end, but enough for a first down plus a lot more. This is much better scoring territory for the Jaden-led Kansas City Chiefs. Push out, big bomb. Oh, just lofting this to Kansas City, just giving everybody over there a front row seat to another 6 points.
This is what I'm talking about, right? Blink of an eye, you're back in this one, and it's a whole half of ball to play.
Butker, as all kickers do, remain perfect on the point after attempt on the day. We have seen 1 point after miss, and that was in a game that did not matter. That was last week, of course. Player ended up winning by 8 in that one. Memory serves. No bringing this one back. This is a dangerous situation. Jordooo, Josh Allen, Buffalo Bills, all of these receivers, 36 seconds and a full litany of timeouts, Navanta.
Yeah, timeouts are something you don't get to see used as much or as effectively as we would like, but they're definitely are in the quiver as well. The Arsenal toolkit would have you. You have a 7 point lead if you're Jordooo, but you got to make sure you put up that score number as much as you
Yep.
can.
Yeah, you open up the middle of the field like that. Josh Allen it's a nice playful shove from behind. I both love and hate how easily quarterbacks are treated in the league, even within Madden these days.
Yeah, well, remember the days of blitz, man? I mean,
I
quarterbacks were
do.
just
I
like
do.
mauled.
Yeah, you better be able to take a shellacking tackle as a quarterback, especially if you're a running quarterback in that old league. Not going to happen. 7 for 9 is the second missed pass here for Josh Allen.
I think getting the run was enough there, but if it would have worked out, it'd been icing on the cake. But sometimes the cake enough is fine.
Yeah, I do like cake. Here's an opportunity to eat it too. Diggs gets it into the outside. Perfect accuracy on the bullet pass. And this is going to be Jordooo in great scoring position, 2 yards outside of the red zone.
Had to cover a lot of ground, but the afterburners were on. Look at that high arc pass coming down when needed.
Perfectly done right there. Big bomb. 200 plus total yards here for the Buffalo Bills offense. Just really transfixing this field. Shakir gets down. First and goal, and another timeout called. One left on the 1 yard line.
You got to call that timeout there. But look how close you were to greatness.
Really was Shakir almost falling inside for 6 right there. But hey, run play right here. Call the timeout. If this doesn't get in, well, not going to have to. Oh, excuse me. Shakir right there as well. But that's going to be 4-second burned off. So this is still a situation where Kansas City, even however they get the ball back, turnover, force no touchdown, even a field goal, dare I say, not going to have enough to really get it done.
Boo.
Yeah. Easy peasy. Cook wide open there for another touchdown for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, that was a pivotal drive. Had the Bills gone that far and not scored the touchdown, I would have said it's pretty much the Chiefs' game to lose. But thankfully for them, they get that extra point or touchdown, and now it's 28-14.
Yeah, 21 seconds of gameplay, Novanta. That's how long ago this was so much more of a manageable game for Jaden. They force a 3 and out, something like that. The end here, just be looking at so much more of a better look the second half. Bomb play, Hail Mary, why not? Say your prayers.
Does Jaden not like the fair catch button? What's going on over there?
I really
It's-
don't know.
I'm always he's going for it. Oh, he's not. He's not. He's not.
The only thing I can think of is something I mentioned before, and that is that getting your defensive players gassed by forcing them to continue to run down the field. It's the only thing I can really think of. Not even sure if it really shows its head in within virtual NFL within Madden.
I
Third
guess so.
quarter starting now.
I guess so, because I am as confused of how that ball comes and you think he's going to run it without the ball, and then it's over. But hey, look, kicking off this time, not receiving in the third quarter is going to be Kansas City. That's a fair for change.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Jordooo started off first play, touchdown drive for Jordooo to start this game off. Well, it's Jaden now with an opportunity to do the same.
Well, how about that? It's a whole new game, two halves from glory, if you say the least. Kansas City has a little bit more pressure here to force a game three, but I think Jordooo and Buffalo has pressure too to run up the score.
Hear you. This is zone coverage. Gets it out to the flat. Pacheco right there is going to get a lot on the backside. Nicely done. 4 yards up there for not much of a throw and catch.
Yeah, it was kind of cool to anticipate the juke there when needed. I think if had it gone the other way, it would have been a double juke fake out.
We do live for those. It's another pass to basically the same side of the field. It's McKinnon now, number 1, getting in for, I believe, their first catch. Yes, it is. Jared McKinnon.
Interesting that it's so late in this game. You thought that'd be involved a little bit earlier, but I'm just splitting hairs now.
I mean, not getting in Rashee Rice involved until one single play in this. Now, another player, similar situation. Kelsey, I believe, has been held to 2. One of them was for 1 yard. One of them, of course, was for that touchdown and run, about 8 yards right there. Kelsey, star player, number 1 tight end, number 3 overall with receiving yards the past 3 years, people. Now that's going to be getting the big man involved.
Wow. Getting everyone involved is kind of the secondary name in the game, but hey, props.
Yeah. Pacheco, back here, 2nd and 6. Runs out to create the 5th receiver situation right across the middle, and they're going to be glad that Lewis didn't cut back to this one faster.
Yeah, that was kind of place we've seen before. Just at this time, I guess that was got figured out and there was no one around. Not sure if that's going to be a shift or kind of like, that was a mistake. Let's go back and doing what we're doing.
Wholesale switches in formation now. Came up with a single player a little bit closer back, now sending all 5 out. Writing this on the wall, we are going to pass the ball. That's going to be fantastic for Rashee Rice. Gets around 1. And number 11 right there again just kind of goes downfield to try and block a defender. Is just not there.
Don't want to jinx it so far, but it's been a long time since Jordooo's seen an interception or a fumble. I wonder what's going through their mind. Are they kind of thinking like the well has run dry?
Not if you're Mecole Hardman. Right through. Bullet pass right barely within that window. That's going to be enough for 9, Avanta.
Hey, 9 is good. 10 would have been better, but again, you know me, I'm being surly here. You got to drop back with Pat Mahomes, and that was going to be almost open.
There you go. Travis Kelsey gets this one down a lot closer, purchasing a lot of space right now. 1st and goal. The Jaden squad. Audibles called, heavily loading up the right side right here. Rashee Rice. Now Kelsey going out. Flag is out. Ooh, that almost hit 91 in the hands right here. Illegal contact onto the defense, though, so they're going to be marching up halfway up to the goal line.
Ball was knocked loose. Thought it was going to be caught, but I guess the penalty would have made that moot anyway. But the kind of pressure that we've seen in spurts, or a lot of other games have been in spurts here for Jordooo.
You know what else spurts? That's blood when you cut an aorta, because that's exactly what it's looking like right now. Bleeding out, and Patrick Mahomes takes it all the way up, bringing this one back to a 1-touchdown game.
Oh, Patrick Mahomes, you can't count him out, making sure they are part of the score line, taking to the house himself.
Everett Holden, Butker up, Butker perfect. This is a absolute game that we have on our hands. 49 total yards, only touchdowns and extra points scored so far, and only offensive ones as well. This is Jordooo enjoying a lot of defensive scores in the first match that they faced. It's a different situation every single way.
This might be the biggest challenge that Jordooo has dealt with all day. Jadenlbu, excuse me, has put the pressure on. They've already been on stream. Jordooo has been today. You wonder whether or not the mental concentration is still on point.
You have to wonder that, and especially the factor of stream factor, right? The lights and the sounds in your face. Have to assume it's a little bit of it. A lot more used to it as Jordooo. Jaden, believe that's going to be that is going to be the first time I've seen Jordooo twice here on the broadcast today. Saw them last week as well. That was Neighbor that did go down and punch their ticket. Top 2 of that qualifier. Number 1, Josh Allen, gonna be sitting back in the gun. It seemed this one, offensive line doing fantastic stuff, but Allen tries to wind this one up and deliver a cannon to the right side. Well, that's going to get shut down right in the backfield.
Yeah, it was interesting because I saw an alternate universe of that being a massive bomb being connected downfield, but you can't wait forever. Kansas City caught up, and that play was done.
You can't. Analysis paralysis. Make the decision before the decision makes you, and Allen's just going to be happy to get that ball out, force the no sack. Dawson Knox, a slant play to the left side right here. A short play, at least getting called right now. Definitely going to throw this one longer because it's 3rd and 10. Excuse me. I don't know what I'm talking about. Dawson Knox, star player there, receives the ball 2 yards off the line of scrimmage and goes forth for the first.
White jerseys flying everywhere, but the result's the same. First down, a whole new set of downs at your disposal.
Oh, yeah, that was a good rub play actually across the middle to get that defender off of them. Linebacker kind of sit in their position, thrown off, but it's just Stefon Diggs once again for 6. Jordooo marches down the field with a big end landing right into the bread basket of Stefon Diggs.
You called a clutch goal if you're already up ahead. That one there was definitely worth it. Buffalo needed the daylight. They needed the breathing space. Not sure to get in the latter, but definitely the former. Another touchdown for them.
A high-scoring affair here we have in Buffalo, upstate New York here. All the way out. Hardman Jr. fakes this out yet again. One day he'll take it. We see Jaden taking this ball out from the very first play of the game, right? The very first kickoff to get it about like the 21-yard line, if I remember right, with a solid attempt. Second one was out to the 15. It's been neglected since.
Yeah, you don't have an opportunity. Don't want to waste it. Like how the soldiers of the National Guard don't waste the opportunities they have. They will qualify to receive education benefits from state and federal tuition assistance programs. Learn more at nationalguard.com.
You can't, if you spell like me, you can't spell opportunity without using, or can't spell an Army National Guard without using the letters opportunity. I completely messed that one up. Let's push on into 2nd and 10. I tried, okay? I tried.
Hey, try and count for something, yeah.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Wow, this felt like 2 games into one. That first game was almost on 2.5 speed. This was a bit more methodical pace. I do think everyone knows what's at stake.
2.5 earlier and probably 0.5 now. Again, 56 points in this game so far. We're barely halfway through the 3rd quarter. This feels like anything is still possible, barring a, the pick 6 situation from Jordooo.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's broken up right there as a laundry list. A whole sea of blue jerseys, as you've been saying, gets involved to break this one up. Patrick Mahomes, in real life and within Madden, you can see him calling for it. That is going to be the offensive attempt here for the offense as well, Levante.
Yeah, a coach would always say, if you got hands on it, you got to catch it. But sometimes it's hard to do if you got like a face coming at your shoulder blade.
Yeah, 300 pounds coming in, 10, 11 miles an hour. I think that made me drop this ball as well. Out to it, Pacheco.
Ooh.
Almost looks like he grabbed it out of the defender's hands right there.
It did look like it was almost like a pre-interception to pass to Pacheco to bail them out once again.
I'm sure Pacheco could get it done as a linebacker on the other side of this rock. Probably did some of that in college, like a lot of players do as well. Rashee Rice, first down plus a lot. 75% completion ratio for Patrick Mahomes.
And now it's a race against time, 28 seconds and counting in quarter 3. They have to score this time around.
Yeah, I'd 100% agree with that. That's up. That's batted away there as a couple different members get their hands onto this ball. Number 27, White right there. Breaking up that play, yielding nothing. Stop clock, 22 seconds left in the third quarter right now. Pacheco in the gun. Got his friend with them. Turns up the field. Number 21, I believe that's... Is that Von Miller? No, Jordan Poyer, excuse me. Another star defensive member of the Buffalo Bills.
Took the long way to get 8 yards, but 8 yards still the same. Moving up once again for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yep, just moving these chains, moving these chains. Does get the ball out as well. Kelsey pushing to the outside, stops the clock. That was never going to run after this because we are now in the fourth quarter, the witching hour, where losses become wins and wins become losses.
I don't know the song I'll play here, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, fourth quarter means everything because on paper and the way trends are going, it looks like it's Jordooo's games to lose. But Jadenlbu not only has the ball, also has a little bit of momentum on their side as well.
Yeah, folks, again, in case you're just tuning on in, Jordooo up 1-0 in the series after a 21-0 shutdown. Oh, no! Oh, man. Johnson, that is a ball on his hands, right? And I got to hark back to what Navanta said earlier. Coach says, you got the ball in your hands. You got to bring this one in.
Yeah, because it was going the other way. Let's be real. Let's call
Yeah.
it 100. So that's something you don't want to do again. Absolutely not.
Barely gets this one out. That's a first and goal. Feet down inside, and Mecole Hardman Jr. proves why he is still on this squad.
Wow, I thought that was outside, but what do I know there? An opportunity to get something on the board.
Checo plays the bodyguard duties, and it's Kelsey yet again. The big man staggers down inside for another 6. We have a full quarter of football left, and we got a 1-score game on our hands.
And then you could put that on the board as we were saying there. Buffalo, again, that's what they call insurance points, right? Has a little bit of breathing room, but not much. 1 touchdown, almost 5 full minutes to deal with something here.
Buffalo Bills defense has been the deciding factor. Game number 1, now allowing 4 touchdowns to their 0 in the first, and this game ain't over with yet, Navanta. Just feel like if we're looking for market difference, Jaden's offensive plays playing against the Buffalo Bills, outside of course the team change, has really been the difference between these games 1 and game 2.
I think the biggest difference for me here, from my perspective, is that being able to snap way quicker than usual. Would you have time to think about things? If there isn't a defensive miscue, then you're pretty much getting sacked. And I think when Jaden figured that out, it's been really easy for them.
Yeah, 100%. Gotta agree with you, man. Gotta agree with you. Now it's a lack of pressure here as well. And again, for the offense, 2nd and 10 here as the no catch comes in.
Wow, the pressure is on Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills crew. Could imagine having so many scoring opportunities squandered away. You got to make sure you win this one.
Ooh, gets around a lot. Jared Cook is weaving his way all the way through for a lot more.
Almost broke his own ankles in that play, but that's the kind of yards that will totally help out a team down the line.
Yeah, 100% agreed. Cook gets this one. Gonna get some yardage and keep this clock a-running, my friend.
Looked like I hit the back of the head, but I see no flag on the play. Maybe it was my advantage point. But still, 9-yard run. All right.
Yeah, absolutely love that. Absolutely love that. We're seeing how this team is able to work their way down the field and eat up a lot of clock while they are doing it. Jordooo, got to know that one. 3 timeouts on the other side and a 2-minute warning, but what, 7 points and a field goal right here to put that situation on ice. Now, surveying the field, almost gets that out. I believe that was Willie Gay that almost got his hands under this one.
Yeah, I just see it coming. We haven't seen it that I can recall off the sack having it being recovered, or maybe once or twice. But yeah, I feel like the way these sacks are coming, that's only a matter of time.
Yeah, the offensive line has just been shining through this defensive line so far. Now looking a little bit more like a sieve here after the first second or so. Dawson Knox still stays on his feet. Edwards, no! That's an early dive right there, and Knox is going to duck walk his way in for another 6 points.
Well, the pass came in, I thought was going to be stopped, but broke through it and had a clear path to glory. Made sure it was done.
Undying honor and glory there. We got to watch that one again. After Tyler Bass stays perfect. There's the first, a big hit, but it's not going to be enough against the powerhouse tight end of Dawson Knox. Kickoff coming in just a little bit. And Jaden has got to score on this drive, and he has got to do it soon. Miko Hardman gets out. The dumping run right there. The defender kind of pushes Miko Hardman out. And hey, we have our first actual kick return for advantage. The 26-yard line is going to be where they're starting, Avanta.
I'll take it. But let me ask you a question there, Tuck. If you score a
me.
touchdown, will you duck walk? Are you a duck walker?
I am not a duck walker. I believe in the insurmountable power of instilling like that perseverance in the other side. So I'm not much one of a smack talker, at least within the game. Now, walk-off touchdown, absolutely.
Wow. I mean, you can just totally breakdance the rest of us, but it's cool. It's cool.
That's fair. That's fair. Easier said than done, perhaps. Second and 16 gets turned in the third and fourth as Pacheco is the man committing alchemy.
Oh, breaking through the defenses. And, well, Pacheco has shown that they're willing to, as my dad say, pull king rope, right? Being able to contribute when needed to get themselves still in the game here. Always a good option for Kansas City.
2-minute warning now, and the pressure is officially on for Jadenlbu. This is at least a touchdown soon, and then force 3 and out. At most, a touchdown and then an onside kick forced. Forcing the option there, tries to get it out, avoids the sack. Ball or game clock is going to stop right here. Anytime you find yourself in a situation where you have to kick an onside kick, you just know things are going poorly.
Yeah, I mean, that tends to be like the canary in the coal mine, but I like to keep things positive. Sure, things have happened.
Fair enough. That's not positive, though, as White comes down for a big one, burning a lot of time while this is on the middle, and I do believe this game is now on ice. 3 rushes, no reason to do anything else for Jordooo2x.
Yeah, that was the situation we were waiting for. Obviously, there were so many interceptions in that last series. It kind of went bone dry for Buffalo. It was only a matter of time, but I could not expect it quite like that. And now they have the ball and the lead.
Pass to the inside. Davis going to keep this clock running. That might even be a little bit more as number 13. Oh, lucky number 13. Gets this one around again. 6, count them 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's the amount of touchdowns that Josh Allen has thrown.
Man, you got to put the whole team on a run over the ball, it seems like.
Another rush. No timeout attempted here. Do you believe Jaden is not going for the forfeit? You play this all the way down like an absolute gentleman. We got a interview with our winner after the first match. That, of course, was Jordooo. My goodness, long day, guys. Sorry about that. Not 100% sure if we'll be bringing Jordooo on into this one for number 2. Obviously, the amount of content there will be a little bit less than would have been otherwise. Gabe Davis comes up, breaks the plane. This game is over. Josh Allen finishes it with 7. I counted to 6 earlier. I can count to 7 too, folks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, man. What's after Navanta?
Yeah, well, I got to be honest with you. I didn't think I would see the defeated Andy Reid animation 3 times in a single day, but we did see that. And I was still curious about the team change. I want to hear about that. What was the process behind that? But much like the last series, Jordooo came out in 4 straight games, dispatched 2 opponents. They rolled on in our tournament.
Yeah. The score difference is just about the same. 21-0 was the first game. That was a sweep for Jordooo. 48-28, 20-point game in the second. Score difference remains almost the exact same, but that was a game 1 where there was no time where Novanta and I were like, oh man, Jaden's like really, really close here. Could be taking it down again because of the 0-point score. This is so much more of a back and forth game, and I am incredibly glad to have brought it to you guys.
Yeah, that's just saying the half of it. I mean, this is really just a sliver of what this tournament has brought and what we were going to see in the coming weeks. And being able to have the resolve to take down 2 different kinds of opponents is always a good thing to see here when it comes to Madden.
Yeah, so the Texas A&M, that's agricultural and mechanical. That's the college here.
It's Alabama. You said Texas. It's Alabama. A&M. You're so close. You had it right. You had the second part right.
You're right. I did. You're right. I literally have it written down here and everything, and just oh well.
Disrespect.
Alabama, agricultural and Mechanical. Excuse me, Jordooo. We see him on both ones, and FBI Turbo can't get it right on either one of these. Sorry, what I was saying, Jordooo came forth and was able to do this in a previous qualifier as well, though. Obviously, this is all just for qualifying positions within our next week competition. Top 2 there, going to be going into the final 8 bracket. My point being, of course, that Jordooo has been in the situation before. That was Neighbor that came in and really, again, put the thumb screws to them. Neighbor that was able to then off a win after that, and then a loss in the finals, still get one of the first 2 positionings right there as well, though. So this is a situation that Jordooo has been in before. This is the pressure that Jordooo has found themselves in before, and the writing on the wall, the narrative that has been written is, will Jordooo be able to do this next week and actually go forth, punch a ticket, one of those top 2 slots into that final 8 bracket, Avanta?
No doubt in my mind, it's a long and winding road. You got to win a lot of games and have a lot of receptions and completions, to make that a possibility to get there. But if there's anyone that's shown and proved they're able to do it with different opponents week in and week out, Jordooo has shown it. Maybe it's a bit of bias because we see so many of his games, but it takes a lot to tactically defeat opponents. So I do think the chance is as good as any to go to the promised land.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Again, the promised land, the aforementioned promised land being $2,500 for first, $1,500 per second. Now, third and fourth still getting themselves $500 apiece, but first and second going to be able to be playing for a chance to compete live the NFL draft. That's where the championship is going down. That is in April, of course. So plenty of qualifiers, plenty of games to be played before then as well. Right now, though, we're officially done with the day, folks. It has been an absolute, just a blast, an absolute pleasure to have brought you the competitions on the day. At this point, I want to give a big fat shout out to our production staff. That is Aster, that is Zach, and that is a laundry list of absolute goats behind the scenes that are making our jobs as casters so much easier, folks. We would just be 2 guys screaming about Madden in our rooms without our production staff. Very, very much appreciated. Navanta, do you have anything else for the good people before we bid them adieu on the day?
Gotta say, learn more about how you can help out your community by hitting up the nationalguard.com. Remember, there are civilians and soldiers. Guard service part-time. Soldiers of the Guard can work full-time, go to school, fulfill their training a minimum of 1 week in a month with job-specific annual training. Learn more at nationalguard.com.
Yeah, so guys, you can do more for yourself and for your future. Soldiers in the Guard can qualify to receive assistance as well. That's for education benefits, of course, from the state and federal tuition assistance programs. So not just the like leeway to go to school as well, but actual like assistance as well, financial and otherwise. Soldiers in the Guard have the opportunity to gain transferable skills as well as leadership qualities outside of the workplace or the classroom while pursuing a full-time job or going to school full-time. Guys, again, Army National Guard, if you're interested, check out their website. If you're also interested, if you enjoyed what you heard, well, go ahead and follow on Rally Cry, because we're doing a lot more of these competitions. If you like the voices that brought those to you, well, tags right down there, guys, if you so choose. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back with you next week for the second round of this third open qualifier.
Our generation has a choice. Turn away from the world's problems or chase them down. We refuse to sit back and watch them pass us by. Watch us fly ahead. Rise to every challenge and overcome anything. Watch us become the next greatest generation.